What is good, guys? Matt from Duality Gaming here, giving you another video. And if you haven't heard, Microsoft have announced a slimmer version of their console. You know, the big VCR that everyone made a joke of for about 2-3 years. Yeah, they're making a slimmer version of that. And that, funnily enough, one of the first things I told Teresa about the Xbox One was one of the reasons I wouldn't get it is because it's so big. Now it's got a smaller edition. Maybe, and I'll give you why as well. Because the thing is the power and everything. And I'll give you the reason why I probably wouldn't ever get an Xbox One, but it's, you know, it's getting more tempting the time we go on. What I mean by that is basically, let's just get my bit out of the way. There are not really any Xbox games I want to play, to be completely honest with you. Like, the whole Windows thing now is just, yeah. Anyway, if you haven't heard, there's the Xbox One S. This is not the Scorpio, this is the slimmer version of the Xbox One. Now, if you don't remember, like, the Xbox 360 had the Xbox 360 S. This is like that, but with something slightly different. Microsoft was talking about 4K support and upscaling of the new version of their console at this year's E3, and I don't know when it's available. It says August, actually. I'm trying to think of it. Yeah, it will debut in August, and Gears of War 4 will launch with the Xbox One S, with specific support for the console on the 11th of October 2016. Now, I jumped ahead of myself a little bit, but I did that for a reason. Basically, this console has more power. That kind of goes hand in hand with the whole 4K video support. So if you want to fucking dash in Spider-Man or Batman or any fucking Blu-ray that supports 4K and watch it on your Xbox One in 4K, you can do it on this console. You can't do any other one, but this is an upscaling one. Going on from that, it supports high dynamic range color on the console. Now, that's HDR. In my opinion, if you've ever seen Xenoverse, this is obviously the most obvious one for me. The console versions were very dark, and I feel the lack of HDR was probably one of the reasons it looks so much darker than the PC counterpart. So it's nice to see HDR is being included. It would mean just more vibrant colors and things like that. And going on from that, it literally focuses on Gears of War, and the Xbox One S will just provide better textures and better performance overall. Like, surface detail on like metal and armor will look better. There'll be better technical performance. So I assume like the whole dynamic resolution will be different for this console, and the frame rate may even change. Like, the 30 is 30 in single and 60 in multi. We may see something different there. According to Ferguson, the Xbox One S has additional raw GPU and CPU power compared to the Xbox One, which I'll get into that in a minute. And Coalition engineers have been able to take advantage of that, reduce the frequency of the frame rate or the resolution penalties is more demanding in sections of the game. So basically, there is going to probably be 1080p game that can get upscaled to 4K. And obviously, while with this was a good announcement, it was interesting that they actually boosted it. The Scorpio obviously took the show. I'm not going to talk about the Scorpio, not yet at least. We're going to get into that in a different time. Scorpio is obviously something completely worlds apart everything else by the sounds of it, and will probably cost an arm and a leg. Now, what do I think of this? This is nice. Xbox One definitely did need a slim down. I'm surprised it took them that long to do it. The whole like power jump thing in terms of consoles, for me, just constantly reminds me of Apple. And what do I mean by that? When you buy an iPhone, right? This iPhone 5, that's the easiest one. You had the iPhone 5S, you had the iPhone 5, and you had the iPhone 5C. Okay, or in this case, okay, 5S, 6, and 5C. Let's just go with that for now. Or the SE, the 6 Plus, and the 6, like that. So you get the watered down version. So you got the weakest one, which is the cheapest one, which is the Xbox One, and you got the top of the range one. That's the most expensive one. So it'd be like the iPhone 6S in this case. That can just has all the bells and whistles. Then you got the mid-range one, like which would be like the Xbox One S. I feel consoles are going into that kind of phase of what phones have been doing for a long time, which is kind of having this mid-tier, low-tier, high-tier thing. And I don't think that's really right for console gaming. Some people may agree with it. Some people may like the kind of constant upgrading thing if you've got the money to do that. Obviously, if you don't have the money to do that and you want a game, this is going to be a bit of a piss take. To be completely honest with you, I like, well, for people that haven't got an Xbox One, which, and to be completely honest with you, is a lot more than people that there's a lot bigger market of the Xbox One essentially because there's got a lot less sales. this could be better for them because the Xbox One is so much more underpowered compared to the PS4. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if the Xbox One S was literally on par with the PS4. Literally dead on par, if not just slightly more powerful. It could be slightly more powerful with a good 4K upscaler. But what I mean by that, going on from that, is... Oh gosh, I just lost my trail of thought. The whole console thing, phones, some people may find a bit of a kick in the teeth. Some people like to buy game consoles just for that. Tell me what you think actually about this whole thing. I just completely lost my trail of thought, so I'm just going to kind of go on there. Tell me what you think about the Xbox One S. Do you like the fact it's got more raw power? Do you think that's going to like entice you more? Now I remember what I was saying. Basically, the Xbox One, because it's sold less, it has more potential to buy people to buy it than a PS4. So I feel it could be beneficial for them, especially with the Xbox One being as weak as it is. Thank fuck, I remember that. Anyway, guys, tell me what you think down below. Would you get this if you could? Like, was the size of the Xbox One or the power kind of constraining you? Or maybe you want to wait for the Scorpio, you know, get the real horsepower. Tell me what you think down below. Just a quick thing, just remembered, Scorpio could also just be what Sony did and just a load of numbers that don't mean shit. Anyway, guys, tell me what you think down below. Like the video if you liked it, dislike if you didn't like it, subscribe to the channel, really does help me in the resale. Check out the Facebook and check out the Instagram for daily updates. And ultimately, guys, as I always say, have a nice day.